Hi everybody, Brian from Variable Traders here. I am on vacation down here in Mexico, just sitting out on Lanai here, just enjoying the morning. And this is a weekend video, of course, January the 18th. No, it's the 16th actually. Losing track of time, but we'll take a look at what happened in the markets last week. I haven't been overly active, but we can certainly review where we've been last week, where we might be going next week, and a few things we're watching. So let's get down to it. So we'll start and look at what happened last week here. You can see Friday we kicked off earnings season. Some of the financials came out with some not so positive comments, such as predicting a mild recession next year, or this year, I guess, and some cautious guidance along with some increasing loan loss provisions. And the market didn't take it well at the beginning, but by the end of the day, Friday, it seemed to forget all that and continue to hope for a Fed pivot, which would be coming soon, and stop increasing rates. But I don't know. I think traders or investors are just looking past these negative comments, thinking that the Fed's about to pivot, and they just don't want to be caught missing out on the downside, just like what happened with the pandemic. We kind of did a V reversal, and a lot of people got caught missing out on some huge gains. So I kind of feel like this is what's going on in the market now. I think traders and investors are concerned that they're going to miss the bottom here, and they're just starting to buy in, thinking the Fed is going to turn around fairly quickly here and start to ease rates. So right or wrong, I think that's what's going on. So you can see here, index is finished pretty much up on the week, and we had our best week since November. 2% on the Dow, 4.5% on the Qs, and even better on the IWM, 5.3. So you can see investors or traders are basically rotating money back into what I would call growth stocks, higher risk stocks. So it was a risk-on week, definitely, and probably going to continue into next week. So what were the strongest sectors? Communications, one of them in consumer discretionary, again, risk-on trades, and staples and healthcare, smallest gainers. I think staples was actually a bit of a loser. So again, those are your safety trades, and that's where money was coming out of. So really not much happened with the treasuries, kind of staying flat. Still that big spread between the 10 and the 2s, which is telling you recession is, their bond traders kind of think there's a recession coming. The dollar continued to weaken up, down another 1.5% based on UUP. And Bitcoin really starting to take off here after that bit of a pullback on all the concerns with the cryptocurrency space and players in it. So yeah, that was the week, and it was a good week to be invested and risk on, and probably going to continue. And before we get looking at some specific charts, I always like to take a quick moment to take a look at my book on Amazon that's available, Profiting as an Active Trader. It's the guide to trading tools, money management rules, strategies, and the routines of an active stock, and even got some options stuff in there as well for you to read about. So if you want to check it out, there it is. So let's get down and start looking at some charts here. And as always, like to start looking at the treasuries. You can see here we're just slowly leaking away here at the 2 years, starting to slowly just come back a little bit. Not too much happened last week, and same with the 10-year. A little bit more volatile action popped up, but then pulled back again as we had more comments about the possibility of a mild recession from the financial institutions that we heard from on Friday. So you can kind of see here, again, 10-year maybe pricing in a bit of a recession. Coming recession. Transports, again, we had a rip-roaring week here. Not so much action on Friday, but decent volume on Thursday after some of the numbers came out on the economy. The CPI number a little bit lighter than expected and anticipated. So of course that gave some hope to the bulls that maybe we are going to see a more dovish Fed, if you want to call them that. So, and you can see here on the week, really nice move back up on the transport. So we're still we're just right at resistance here on this trend line, this down sloping trend line. And the Dow, we're right back up at these highs here that we saw back in December. Again, hopes of a possible pivot by the Fed. Again, this is looking like we're just about to break out here, so something to watch next week if we can break through this 34,500 level sort of area. And the Qs, same thing. A little bit less positive looking, but again, decent volume, and came back up nicely on the day. You can see how we started low and then sort of popped up there. And on the week, of course, really nice move back up through the 200-day. We've still got this trend line down here. If you draw a top on these, I don't want to take time to do that, but you can see here we're right back to that downward sloping trend line. And the SPY, again, we're right at pretty close to a level of prior resistance here. We actually did make it through the 200-day, and we're back here, and again back at this sloping downward trend line on the SPY, and some pretty okay volume, not super great. IWM, again, we're right at resistance here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next week if we can actually manage to get through this. Certainly there's lots of momentum to the upside, and of course this is the sort of risk-on trade, IWM, and this is where I've actually had money this week in an ETF called TNA, which I like to trade in and out of. And you can see here on the week we're right back at some significant areas of prior resistance. So we'll see what happens next week if we can manage to move above it. And here's something that really is, I find it quite instructive, is there's just no fear in the market. And this VIX volatility index is just showing you there's absolutely no fear. Nobody's going out and paying up for options. This is sort of based on the options pricing. Nobody's going out and taking any kind of, quote, what you would call insurance on a big market plunge. So volatility right down into the basement here. We even broke through some prior lows here that would have been support. So absolutely no fear in the market in terms of a big sell-off coming. And you can see here on the dollar really just getting whacked as interest rates, 10-year is coming down a little more. And you can see here on the weekly, we've just broke this trend that we had right into the end of the year, and now we're just dropping off as some of the other foreign currencies start to gain strength here. Bitcoin, you can see here, Bitcoin, it's actually got through 21,000. Last time I looked at it last night, it was 20,800. Just really just rocketed off here, right back up to this area, which is prior resistance. So probably going to have some little bit of consolidation there, but you can see here just an amazing move by Bitcoin. I don't know what that is, but I always feel like the Bitcoin market is fairly heavily manipulated now. So hard to say what's going on there, whether it was some news, but anyway, we're right back up into this area that had chopped around quite a bit in the end of last year. So again, because I'm on vacation, I'm kind of taking a bit of a break, not really doing too much in terms of searching for new stocks and actively trading, but I am doing a bit of trading while I'm away. Can't seem to get away from it. Still long this ATVI. Again, this is a play on the Microsoft takeover. Not much happening there yet. FLEX have been in, as you know, for quite a while now. Came back through this pullback, and now it looks like we're breaking out here. So again, there's something long that. Long some gold. GDX has really been on a tear here. We did have a little bit of a kind of pull. We had a breakout, bit of a consolidation and continuation. Gold is going up through 1900, which it hasn't seen for quite some time, and it just seems to be where everybody's thinking it's going to go higher. So I'm just riding that wave. Again, I mentioned playing the IWM. This is a way to play it with TNA, which is a beta ETF, so you get better return. You also get improved losses if it goes against you, but it's been moving up nicely with the risk on trade. Tesla, I've still got some puts that I'm holding. I've sold them. I've sold the puts, so I'm essentially short them, and just collected the money that I got for them, and they're down at their marches, and they're down at $60. So I think they're pretty safe. I already sold half of them for 50%. I bought them back 50% of what I paid for them, so I'm half out of them, and I'm just holding the rest. I kind of think that I don't see Tesla going to $60, but you never know. It's always a bit of a risk. UNG, I guess this is one I'm just keeping an eye on right now. I'm still not long it, natural gas, but because it's been so warm everywhere, Europe, even the East Coast, U.S., which is typically cold this time of year, has been abnormally warm. So natural gas consumption really down, and of course with it being down, consumption being down, price has really fallen here. So at some point it's got to bottom out, and I'm looking at this level down here. So we're just keeping an eye on whether it actually breaks 10, and then I just might step in here and buy some, but not yet. It did lose this pretty significantly, lose this area where I thought it might have support. So still watching UNG, and yeah, that's about it for what I'm watching. Okay, so let's wrap things up here. You can see there's the levels on the Dow, the Qs, the SPY, and IWM. You can see we're right up at resistance level on IWM. I suspect we probably will break out next week. But we'll keep an eye on that, because I think, again, it seems to be a risk-on sort of environment as we move forward. Tuesday, we've got this Empire State Manufacturing Index. That'll be kind of interesting. Wednesday, we've got PPI, Producer Price Index, and some retail sales number again. But like I said, investors and traders are still looking forward and not wanting to miss out on catching a bottom on this market. So Monday, obviously the holiday, Martin Luther King, in honor of Martin Luther King and all the things he did for civil rights. Can't forget to mention that while we're off, where we're not trading today. Tuesday, you can see we've got more financials. We've got UAL, another airline, and then we've got some more financials. Alcoa, we've got P&G. Netflix will be interesting after the market closes on Thursday. And yeah, so that's how we're lining up this week. And we're just, of course, getting into earnings season. So I'll be off till Thursday. I'll be back in the trading room. But until then, the other moderators, all our other great moderators will be there 8 o'clock. Engineering the Markets with Jared, and then 8:30 the pre-market show with Norm and Carlos, and then of course Trading the Market Open with some of our other mods. And as I said, I'll be back Thursday. So enjoy, everybody, and hope you have a good shortened trading week here, and we'll see you on Thursday if you're going to join us in the trading room, our members. Bye for now.